Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is the second part of making super smart sentences, and let's review what we had covered last time. Last time we discussed the royal order of adjectives, and we discussed that if we use more than one adjectives in a row, we need to take care of this royal order of adjectives. And we need to learn and memorize this so that we do not use the wrong order. The first tip for making super smart sentences was to use two adjectives at the start of the sentence. Let's look at some more examples. Towering glass buildings attracted my attention. Towering is the size and glass is the material with which the buildings are made. Beautiful yellow flowers grew everywhere. Beautiful is my opinion and yellow is the color. So this is how you take care of the royal order of adjectives. The soothing melodious voice of the birds comforted my sorrowed heart. The checkered blue shirt hung in the shop window. So over here we can see that the sentences are beginning with two adjectives. Let's look at the next step. The next step was to use the ing word at the start of the sentence, and this made a phrase, which is an adverbial phrase, separated from the main sentence by a comma. Alerting the citizens, the radio informed about the disaster. The second example is, informing with pain, father told us about the heart-rending news of more corona deaths. Emanating from the kitchen, the aroma filled the whole house. Now this is a new tip. You can use the ing phrase at the end of the sentence as well. Now there's another thing that you need to keep in mind. I'll read the first example and then I'll tell you what is that other thing. He trudged along the hot desert for days. Now this is one part of the sentence. As you can see that this part has its own verb. He is the subject and trudged is the verb, and the hot desert, and then we have the predicate. Okay. And the second part, wishing he had brought more water, again he had brought. He is the subject and had brought is the verb. So this part also has its own subject and verb. So when a part of the sentence has its own verb, then that part is called a clause. So this sentence is made up of two clauses. And when we are using two clauses like this, we put a comma to separate them. He trudged along the hot desert for days, wishing he had brought more water. The next example is, Mrs. Ahmed gave the homeless man all the money she had, hoping that her small act of kindness might bring him some comfort. Again, we can see that both the clauses have their own verbs. Mrs. Ahmed gave, so gave is the verb over here. And in the next part, hoping that her small act of kindness might bring is the verb over here. She helped her cook biryani, knowing that she had invited 20 people. So she helped her only because she knew that she had invited a lot of guests. Again, you can see she helped is the verb, and she had invited, again had invited is the verb. The next tip is to use the ly adverb at the beginning of the sentence. Cheerfully, comma, she answered the phone for her mother. Again, you need to notice that she answered the phone for her mother is a complete sentence, and cheerfully is extra information. It is an adverb and it will be separated from the rest of the sentence with the help of a comma. Cheerfully, she answered the phone for her mother. Slowly opening the door, this is a phrase. Mother tried not to wake baby Meyer. The last example is, carefully, she completed all her work. The next tip is to give some information, extra information in the middle of the sentence, informative interrupters, and they are called appositives. Let's see what they are. The fish. Now, what fish? What kind of fish? The appositive describes that. The fish, a slimy mass of flesh. So, a slimy mass of flesh is an adjectival phrase, and it describes the fish. The fish, a slimy mass of flesh, felt the alligator's giant teeth sink into him as it struggled to swim away. The next example is the child, face covered with chocolate donut. Again, face covered with chocolate donut describes the face of the child. So the child, face covered with chocolate donut, asked his mother if he could have some milk. The next example is the lady. And what kind of lady? The lady in the gray scarf. So which lady? The one in the gray scarf is our new teacher. The scream, what kind of scream? Extremely loud and shrill, was heard by everyone in the neighborhood. So this appositive gives extra information. Mostly it's a description of the subject. And if you notice closely, the sentence without is complete. The fish felt the alligator's giant teeth sink into him as it struggled to swim away. The child asked his mother if he could have some milk. The lady is our new teacher. The scream was heard by everyone in the neighborhood. Right? So again, this is extra information. And instead of using two sentences to describe, appositive is inserted in one sentence, and two things happen together. You describe the subject as well as you give some information about it. Okay? So we shared 3 new tips today, and we reviewed the previous 2 tips. I hope this will help us make our sentences better, inshallah. Allah Hafiz. See you next time.